guys, I'm Aussie Villain. Welcome to episode 29 of the First Star Challenge with Everton, and welcome to a brand new season. We're going to go, hopefully, one better than last year, where we lost, of course, the Champions League final. And let's have a look at what the board are expecting, first of all, for this season. You can see in the Premier League, we're expected to qualify for the Europa League. We want to do a lot better than that, I can assure you. Champions League, I just want to reach the group stage. Job done. We've achieved that because we were automatically in the group stage. You'd think maybe a little bit more expectation than that, but that's what they want, and we've given it to them already, so easy done there. FA Cup reached the 6th round, which I think is the quarterfinals. It always confuses me. I'm pretty sure that's the quarterfinals, so it's going to depend on the draw and how we're doing in other competitions as to how seriously we take that. And Carabao Cup, not important, so, you know, we'll treat that with the due respect, I guess. Now, if we have a look at the Premier League, just to sort of... the league's kind of what we mostly care about, I think, isn't it, to start with. We're equal 7th favourites, we are 7th favourites, 20-1. I thought we've done okay. If you didn't watch last episode, the transfer special, I think we've done really well to strengthen, and I think that's a bit of an insult to us, to be honest. It was expected to just be 7th. But that's probably where the board get their idea of the expectation of just qualifying for the Europa League. And if we have a look, I think the Champions League has the same sort of thing as season preview. We'll have a look here. It does not, so never mind there. We'll just have a quick look, a quick refresher for everybody at what happened in the transfer window, and you will see that we got out a lot of decent players on big money, I'd say. Sandro gone for 6.5, Schneiderlin gone for 7.75, Walcott gone for 14.25. We are paying a little bit of wages towards these guys. Galloway left, as did Kieran Dow. Yerry Mina also went out the door along with Michael Keane for £17 million. The guys we got in, and these are, I think, really, really good replacements. Jonathan Tah, central defender, absolute beast. I think he'll do really well for us. Luis Felipe is just the boss as far as defenders go, as far as I'm concerned. Really, really happy with him. Lorik Milo, he is one for the future, right back for the future. We'll try and sort of groom him, I think, long-term to come in and replace Seamus Coleman. Francesco Canete, we don't have a work permit for this guy as of yet, but he's an absolute superstar in the making, and I have no doubts we'll get that work permit. I think October we can apply again, so no doubts we'll get that. We only paid 850 grand for him, so even if we have to sell him on, it's still a deal worth doing. Phil Foden, didn't expect this one, got him in on loan, only paying 30 grand a week of his wages. Again, really, really happy with that. Rafinha, this guy comes in basically to replace Theo Walcott as a winger. We paid for this guy 43.5 for him, and he's valued at 45.5. So already a small profit or a small increase in value there, but we essentially signed the finished product here. We paid for it, and he's still only 23, so we'll get a number of years out of him. And then this guy is just a sort of a punt for the future. He's transfer listed by Fulham for some reason. He's a right back. I don't actually think we need him, to be honest, but we paid 90 odd grand for him, and I mean, we're going to sell him for a profit even if we never use him. So good bit of business, I think, there long term for the club as well. Now, let's have a look at pre-season. This is all new information to you, and look at those results. To say pre-season went well would be a bit of an understatement. 40 goals we scored in pre-season, we only conceded 5. Let's have a quick run through. We started off with Ghent, as you would imagine. All these were just wonderful performances. Selke, Morrow, Richarlison, and Stark with the goals. Sparta Prague. Now, these guys are in the Champions League. They're essentially, I think they're Czech champ. Well, they must be Czech champions. 9-1 in Prague. Absolutely amazing. Bernard with 4. Selke, Terry Cooke with 2. Michael Keane and Ademola Lookman with the goals. AZ Alkmaar, of course, a Dutch Eredivisie club. 6-0 past them. Lookman, Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin with 2, Bowler and Terry Cooke with another. Copenhagen, but disappointing this one, only 3-0 against the Danish champions. Lookman, Foden and Cooke again with goals. Real Madrid, 5-3 against Real Madrid. You can see we actually went 3-0 up. They got back to 3-3. We were just taunting them, and then we went back and then scored 2 more. So Vlasic was 2. Davie, Selke, and Terry Cooke. Yet again, Terry Cooke. Really good pre-season for him in the goals. Then we played Sporting Lisbon, 3-1. We actually went behind in this game, and then rebounded with 3 goals. Lookman, Calvert-Lewin, and Wilmar. Barrios. Club Brugge, Belgian champ. Really good Belgian club. Just the 7 goals past them. Barrios, Luis Felipe, Davies, Vlasic with 2, Bernard and Denny Drinkwater, who we do have back on loan for this season as well. And then Hartlepool 3. This was actually probably our worst performance of pre-season. We had Calvert-Lewin, Bernard and Denny Drinkwater with the goals. Absolutely amazing. Now, to warm up for the season, let's have a look back at some of our best goals of pre-season. Now, what I've kind of done here is tried to pick sort of the best goal from each game. Some games didn't have great goals, so we've gone 2 from some games. But let's warm up. Let's look back at some of the best goals from this pre-season. And just one other player to introduce to everybody. Meet Stuart Taylor, our young 16-year-old defender, formerly known as George Armstrong. Stuart got in the comments first. He's got an absolute superstar named after him here, and he will be in the first team. We might even look to bring him up for some Carabao Cup games this year, I think. The only thing that worries me with this guy is the jumping reach of only 6. So we are retraining him to sort of be able to step forward in midfield as a ball-winning midfielder, because I think he has all the attributes for that as well. But certainly a player we are going to be using a lot of, and only 16 as well. So that's Stuart Taylor. But let's have a look now at the team we are sending out for the first game of the season. Lots of new players here getting their debuts. Well, actually, not that many getting their debuts, just a few. So it's Pickford in goal. It's Digne, Stark, Lewis, Felipe, and Coleman. We should probably have a look at attributes, shouldn't we, as we go here, so you can kind of see how players are developing. We know Digne's absolute class. Now, there was a comment, I think it was Brian Carlos, and I do agree that, it was going to take some time for these new players to bed in, especially the 2 new centre-backs. So my plan for that is we're going to play Stark with one of them for as long as we can, and then we will hopefully bed them in that way and not face too many problems. So it's going to be Davies, our superstar from last year, Champions League hero, along with Wilmar Barrios. He wants more first team football. I want to keep him happy because he's a really good defensive player for us. So we're going to give him a start here. We are up against Fulham in the first game. Richarlison goes down one wing. Bernard, he's still at the club. He's still unhappy. I'm hoping once the transfer window closes for Spanish clubs that will pass. But I think that's still the end of August. So we've got about a month to deal with him sort of sulking a little bit. But he's still played well in pre-season, so I'm hoping it won't be a problem. Phil Foden gets the nod in behind Terry Cooke. He had a really good pre-season. We're giving him the start on the opening day of the year. Now, most of that is because, if we have a scroll down here, Selke he's picked up a bit of a knock in pre-season, so he hasn't. He's still about 7 days away. So Cooke and Calvert-Lewin, we've gone with Terry Cooke. And to have a quick look at the reserves, Rajkovic is the backup goalkeeper. Tar, who we will look to give a debut to if the opportunity arises. Robinson, as well, backup left back. Denny Drinkwater's on the bench, along with Rafinha, who again we will look to try and give a debut to today. Vlasic, who's unlucky not to start, but I want to try Phil Foden. He's the new toy, isn't he? So we want to play with him. And then, as I said, Calvert-Lewin on the bench as well. All right, let's get this new season underway. So we can see the way Fulham's lining up there. It's very similar to us, actually. A few debuts for them in their defence as well, so hopefully we can take advantage of that. Soldado. Is that the... No, it's different Soldado. I was going to say the Soldado that went to Spurs and sucked, but it's not. It was Roberto, wasn't it? So just the 2 debutants in our starting 11. It's a home game. What do we say to this? Go out there, relax, the result will come. I almost think opening day of the year. No, let's just go with relax. Go out there and relax. Especially since there are a few debutants in there as well. Yeah, we'll do that. And just kind of see how we go here. It'd be good to see Terry Cooke if he could get off the mark early this season as well. But, I mean, as you can see, pre-season just could not have gone any better. The only thing that went wrong was Selke picked up a knock, so he missed about most of it. I think it was a 3 or 4 week knock. So that's literally the only thing that's gone wrong so far. So hopefully we didn't get all that good football out of the way in pre-season, and then, we start the season proper and run into a bit of problem. But, yeah, don't want to put too much faith into pre-season because it can be misleading. Decent crossing there. It's for Carlson there for Terry Cooke. Brings it down. Can he turn? Just held the ball up there nicely, actually. Tom Davies out for Richarlison. Is that a penalty? Is that a penalty? Is that a penalty? I don't think it is. It is a penalty. Wow, I think we've got one there, but that's all right. We'll take it. Richarlison to take the spot kick. Go on, son. Richarlison! Oh, under the keeper's arms. It was maybe a little bit lucky there. It was a terrible penalty, really, wasn't it? But it's in the back of the net, so that's fine. We'll give it a demand more here when we can. Let's have another look at that. Keeper's gone the right way. It's hit his hand and gone in. Unlucky for that's really unlucky for Fulham. I don't think it was a penalty to start with, and then the keeper's done that. All right, Tom Davies, what have you got for us, son? Tom Davies! He's at it again. It's only taken 15 minutes, and he's already belting them in from everywhere. I am really, really loving Tom Davies in this team. He's just we're building the team around him essentially, and he is just delivering at every opportunity. Look at this, just gets himself a little bit of space. Terry Cooke, in danger of being caught offside there. But that is absolutely fine. What a start to the season for Tom Davies. He's on a new contract for those who didn't watch the transfer special. 90 grand a week. Basically a double your money deal. All that really meant, though, is that instead of paying the 100 grand a week to Schneiderlin, we're giving it to Tom Davies. And Tom Davies 100% deserves it. Because he is arguably the star of the team right now. Especially while Bernard is still kind of making eyes towards Barcelona. Now, Ramos is actually Luis Felipe. I don't know why it says Ramos. I can't get it to change. I mean, I could put it as a nickname, I guess, but just so we know, good ball in from Richarlison. Tom Davies, can he take a touch? Finds Bernard! Oh, it's Terry Cooke, and he can't turn it in either. Little bit of luck there for good old Fulham. Now, Fulham are, I believe, a promoted team. I think they got relegated the first season, then they came straight back up. So, yeah, that's the deal with Fulham this year. We're playing a promoted team. Interesting to see Ryan Sessegnon is still with them. Throw in there, Foden with the ball. Finds a bit of space. That's not a good pass, but Barrios picks that up. Going to fall for Tom Davies, is it? No. Need to be a little bit more aggressive there, perhaps, Tommy. Here goes Sessegnon. O'Reilly. This is a little bit dangerous right before half-time. We do not want to be conceding now. It makes what's been a relatively comfortable half into a very tight game, and that's just what's happened. Ryan Sessegnon, I don't know, I shouldn't have mentioned him. We'll give it a show some passion, but you just wonder if we've clocked off a little bit there. There was a few complacent players, body language-wise, as well, you could see. Sessegnon, it's just ghosted in, hasn't he? Ghosted at the back post. Decent, you wonder, I mean, Pickford should be doing a little bit better there, really. But that's a little bit disappointing, isn't it? Not the best way to end the half. I'm wondering if we look to maybe drop Barrios in. He's definitely... Look at that. We've been absolutely FM'd at the end of that half, haven't we? It should not be a tight game. I'm going to say I'm far from pleased, if I'm honest. That's not how that half should have ended for us. And we've made a comfortable game suddenly into a very tight one. So we'll go again here. Another goal. And another goal should be fine. You do just worry, don't you, at 2-1. There's the ball for Foden. No, I just can't quite get it under control. Wait and see what happens from this highlight. Then we might look to give it a demand more here. So let me know what you think in the comments. What can we do this season? Can we go one better in the Champions League? We got a little bit of luck with the draw last year. We did a good touch from Digne. Back post, and it's... Oh, Richarlison. We did get a little bit of luck in the Champions League draw last year in that we didn't... Why did I hit praise? I want to hit demand more. That's not good. Hopefully we'll score here and it'll undo my blushes. Oh, Tom Davies! Oh, he's got a double! Tom Davies! There's nothing this man can't do. Suddenly he got me out of jail with my hitting of praise as well, because now that's going to look like a sensible shout instead of a mistake. But Bernard with a nice little flick on Tom Davies. Too strong for Sessegnon. Again, questions over their keeper. It's difficult to blame a keeper for not saving a penalty. I think you can blame him for not saving that, though. That should have been saved. Foden's taken a bit of a knock. Do we bring Vlasic on, or do we go a little bit more conservative in midfield? We'll bring Vlasic on. We can always look to move him sort of out wide or put him up front. Terry Cooke's not having the best game, but to be fair, I mean, I think he's leading the line okay. Let's show some passion here. Come on, boys. We saw that one highlight in the first half where he brought it down, kept the ball, played it back, and that led to... Was that Tom Davies' goals or the penalty that it led to? It was one of them. Excellent dive there by Pickford, one for the cameras there. The one small problem we had for this game is that I was sort of rejigging the backroom stuff. Someone came in for one of our scouts or data analysts, or I can't remember what it was now. So I was sort of re-signing somebody, and we didn't actually get reports for this Fulham game. So we are playing a little bit blind. Bernard! Oh, I thought that was bending in. We are playing a little bit blind on that sense. I mean, we should be beating Fulham anyway. Here goes Terry Cooke from the set piece. Terry Cooke! Oh, it's on target. Vlasic is there, and it's hacked clear. Still have not had one of those go in. So yeah, we are playing a little bit blind on that sense, but you know, it's not an excuse by any means. It's just a fact, I guess. All right, we're going to give Rafinha a debut here, and if we can get another goal, I will look to bring Tar on as well. You know what we might do? I do want to just get these debuts out of the way. So what we'll do is we'll bring Tar on for Barrios, because he's looking complacent anyway. We'll switch those guys around. We'll just drop Stark in as an anchor man or something along those lines, just to sit in. And then, yeah, we'll just... Can we drop Vlasic back? He should be fine. He'll be fine. No pressure on your debut. Just go out there and don't concede 2 goals, please. That's all I ask. We'll give them some praise, because, I mean, it's been a good performance, hasn't it? Not quite the, the 40 goals that we saw in 8 games of pre-season, but along those lines, isn't it? What's 40 divided by 8? We would have averaged 4 or 5 goals a game in pre-season. We've only got the 3 here, but a good... Or have we? Or can we get 4? Coleman, what a ball for Terry Cooke! Oh, it's there for Vlasic! He can't miss! Unlucky for Terry Cooke, but Vlasic has gone and got the 4th goal of the game. Coleman was absolutely... What a run that is. He's picked that up from, inside his own half by about 10 yards, run the length of the field. Terry Cooke here, a little bit unlucky, but a lot of that goal goes down to him as well, doesn't it? Not giving up, putting pressure on the goalkeeper and defender. I don't know why the ball ricocheted around. It may have been a shot that was saved. It may have just been a defender getting in the way, but whatever happened, it's 4-1. Can we get a 5th? It looks like we're just closing down the game at this point, which is fine. And I'll tell you what, at 4-1, we'd have to be a chance at top of the table, wouldn't we? Opening day. It's a good, solid win. Not the best pass out there, but that's all right. So let me know what you think in the comments. Can we go one better in the Champions League? Can we win the league this year? That's going to be big, isn't it? That's got to be up there for one of our targets. I think we've strengthened well. That's a good, solid start. We've got a lot of debuts out of the way there as well, which is always a good thing. And we played a promoted team on the first day and beaten them, and that's never an easy thing to do. Now, this Foden injury, that's relatively serious. 4 to 7 weeks. I mean, that's why we signed a lot of players. That's why we have a deep squad. But yeah, I mean, we have Vlasic and we have Gomez that can come in. So we're covered. It's just not ideal, is it, on his debut to lose him for so long. Anyway, guys, that is it for this episode. Typically, there'll be 2 games if you are new to the channel, if you're just picking up on the new season. But because there's a little bit of extra stuff to do for the first game of the year, we'll keep it short. I don't want episode lengths getting too long. So we will be back on Saturday for the derby, the first Merseyside derby of the year against Liverpool, and then our first game in the group stage of the Champions League for this year. Now, if you follow me on Twitter, @AussieVilla, what I'll do is when we get our Champions League group stage, I'll tweet that out for you so you can see it in advance, or you can just wait and find out on Saturday. But until then, guys, if you have enjoyed, as I said, thumbs up. If you're new, subscribe and ring the bell so you know when I upload new videos. But until Saturday, I've been AussieVilla, and thank you so much for watching. Take care.